At this point, boys, the secret is out. I own a 2024 Denali HD Ultimate, and it happens to be right there. It hasn't moved since it actually got delivered from our friends over at Laura Buick GMC in Illinois, where I happened to buy my 2020 back in 2019, if you guys can remember this video right here, taking delivery of that truck in their home state. But this time around, they did me a big favor and actually hot-shotted it to me. It arrived here in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania on Saturday morning upon its arrival to Laura Buick GMC. So I have to say thank you so much to Laura Buick GMC for hooking it up and the relationship opportunity, because to me, in life, everything is possible when you make people the priority and a passion is the underlying component. Now, this thing's so fresh here behind me that I haven't even actually had a chance to drive it yet. It literally got unloaded, and then I did some mods to it, and still haven't even had any seat time with it, so we're going to experience that today. And then we're going to dig into why I believe that GM royally dropped the ball on the 2024 Denali Ultimate, and I'm going to unpack that with you guys today. So the 2024 Denali Duramax is here in Pennsylvania in my possession, and now I get to walk you guys through what my initial impressions of this thing are. So I figured before I take this thing out into the beautiful sunlight that is this Monday morning, I thought we would utilize the wonderful LED lighting that Lime Ridge has in the back showroom to walk you guys through the truck that I couldn't stand on stock wheels. I took them off already, and it was very controversial on Instagram. If you don't follow me there, I don't know what you're thinking at this point in time. My video upload schedule is going to become somewhat scattered. It's not going to be on this consistent schedule, and I apologize for that, but we've got a lot of new things going on, such as Spark Energy. That happened to sell completely out 24 hours after our launch on Amazon Prime, but good news is we have plenty more where that came from, and it should be restocked by the time you're seeing this video. If it's not, keep an eye out for those restocks. We are stoked with the resonance of the response, and we're glad to hear that Spark is going to be by your side as you pursue whatever it is that you're after in your life. It also happens to come down to the fact that Left Lane Coatings is booming, and I gotta say thank you guys for all the support there, plus all my Lancaster locals. And I do have another business venture that I'm actively involved in on a day-to-day basis that I might end up sharing with you guys. I might not. The only reason I'm not sharing anything at this point in time is because I like to live by the motto, let your actions speak louder than your words, and I'm never one to talk about something I'm doing until it's actually doing, and then I can talk about how well it's doing. So anyway, you're definitely going to want to tap subscribe and turn the notification bells on so you guys don't miss any uploads, and follow me on Instagram, so that way you can kind of just keep up to date on everything else. Because Instagram is very simple. All you do is you take your phone out, you find your nice angle, and you just snap a pic, add a caption, and call it a day, whereas filming YouTube videos takes a lot more time. So, the Denali Ultimate. Very commonly, being that this is so new, mistaken for the AT4. Until you peek your head inside and see that it's actually an Ultimate, because this is the only Denali that comes with this pretty badass three-tone leather interior. We'll get to that here in a sec. 2024, what did they do? They basically kept everything the same from here back on the exterior of the truck, and effectively here forward. All they did was really gave it a facial upgrade and a booty update, if you will. They gave it a butt lift. They gave it new LED taillights with the reverse light in a new position. They have two little kind of doohickey things that come off the side versus just one now, and there's not really much all that much difference. There is no slit in the center of the headlight on my 2020, whereas this one is completely flat. On the front end, it looks like they did a little bit of a different badge right here, so I guess I lied. It's from right here, but that's really all that changed there. Obviously, the whole fascia is new from like here down. I don't know if the hood scoop's any different. I think it's slightly different than that of on the previous generation 2020. New style headlights, which are definitely interesting. They kind of project further over to the top than they do on the side, whereas GMC always kind of followed this like C-shape emblem. So it's shocking to not see them kind of bring this back down and around. Maybe the designers thought that it would be too symmetrical to the current trucks. But if you look at this picture of the 2022 and a half plus GMC 1500s. They have a really cool redesign on the C shape. It's a little bit more slender, a little bit more sharp, a little bit more aerodynamic. Doesn't flow the whole way through, whereas this one, they kind of just said, no, we're not going to take it past this point right here, and we're going to put this really awesome amber reflector on the inside, so that way it's there, and it does stuff. The headlights are cool, though. I think that they're neat. We'll show you guys how they work here in a second. The bumper... I'm trying to avoid talking about that right there. We're going to get into that in a minute. I have a serious bone that I need to pick with the designers of GM on this truck. I'm getting there in a minute. The bumper is slightly refreshed. It has these unique fog-like pod trim bezel things that come down. The fog light is actually just a projector. I don't know if that has anything to do with active driving. I guess I'll find out. I'm sure they're a lot brighter than that of the halogen style or LED halogen style bulb. The bumper shape's a little bit more unique. It kind of reminds me of like a Super Duty front end a little bit. We have this 2500 badge here now. Denali's naturally never came with 2500 badging because the Denali HD went in its place, but now you know what you have. If it's a Denali, it's 2500 Denali. That way you just don't, that way you don't mess that up. You've got now all this plastic that comes around on the outside of the bumper, and it feels like there's not much structure back there, which for my guys that want to run bigger, wider wheels, that actually might be a nice thing because you don't have to trim into actual steel. You can just trim plastic. Like I always remove these caps in the back when the trucks are stock until we trim them, do a little bit of a large fender mod action, then we can get full turn out of a set of 24s. The lower valance is a newer design on the bottom there of the bumper, and that brings us to this Vader Chrome. Yeah. So GM's typically pretty solid in sticking to kind of this general design theme that they do, but I think like they hired a new director of design. So let's then still offer Denali as kind of the top trim, but then let's actually kind of demote it just a little bit, and then let's offer the Ultimate, where we take this black chrome thing that kind of naturally came as a look package on the AT4, but only take the grille and some front end, quote, Vader Chrome, and then give it the sickest interior ever, so that way we don't give our Denali customers, which is a very loyal group of people, by the way, a very, very successful group of people that can afford sub $100,000 trucks. Let's give them no option, right? Like, let's just put this absolutely sick interior in this truck, which we'll get into in a minute. Let's not give these customers options, which these customers like options a lot. And let's just force them to take Vader Chrome on the front of their trucks, but then let's offer the rest of the chrome on the truck as normal. Like, we won't change it. We won't even consider it. We won't even acknowledge it. So that way we can create a unique way that they can brand themselves as the Ultimate owner, but they can be mistaken as AT4 owners, but they're Ultimate owners though, because it's the Vader Chrome. It's not black. It's Vader Chrome. So let's do that here, even on the inside of the GMC badge on the front and the back. Let's do that. Well, let's do that. I don't know if this is Vader Chrome or this is Vader Chrome or this is black and this is Vader Chrome, or if this is gray and this is Vader Chrome, because I can't really... I think this is lighter than this. You can see the difference there. This. So the Denali Ultimate doesn't just come with Vader Chrome. It also comes with gray chrome, and it also comes with normal chrome all across the side of the truck, like everywhere. All around. And that is how we are going to brand the Ultimate as the Ultimate Denali. I just don't get it. It's not that I don't like the Vader Chrome. I think it's cool, right? But it's inconsistent. That's my gripe with it. If you wanted to do Vader Chrome, why wouldn't you reach out to your independent suppliers, GM, and do Vader Chrome around the window moldings? And why wouldn't you have Vader Chrome created around the mirror caps? And why wouldn't you include Vader Chrome down along the power running board? Why wouldn't you add Vader Chrome door handles? Why wouldn't you add Vader Chrome Denali HD? So that way it's truly, actually, consistently an Ultimate, and that way you can actually truly differentiate it from the AT4, which a lot of people either gravitate towards the AT4 styling, especially with a Summit White truck. This is Summit White, not Pearl White like my other Denali is. Because there's instances where if this isn't executed appropriately, like this, it actually looks like a demotion Denali, not the Ultimate Denali. Because as you guys know, some lower trim trucks come with black grills, black plastic grills, or just like non-paint matched grills. And us in the aftermarket, we like to get things consistent. We like to get them paint matched. This doesn't look complete. And that is why I put polished wheels on, because there is a bunch of chrome on the side of the truck, whereas if I did black chrome, which I know a really good powder coater in Lancaster, Left Lane Coatings, happen to know the guy, we could actually create that same finish on those wheels, but you can't get any Vader chrome anywhere else. So then you have to ask yourself, all right, do I wrap these? Do I paint match these? Do I paint match literally all of this window molding? Well, if you paint match all the window molding, then it more or less looks like a sport package. And I personally am very privy to the chromist complement, especially on Denali's. It's just the typical Denali thing. It's what looks amazing. And that is probably the biggest design flaw I've ever seen. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I am not bashing GM. This was a really weird thing. In my opinion, the appropriate thing to do would have been simple in the MSO configurator to just say, do you want Vader Chrome? Yes or no, because that grill is the exact same as the non-Ultimate Denali, and you could have optioned it in, I could have optioned it in, and then I would have been happy as a clam. Now, fortunately, in the rear of the truck, there isn't all that much Vader Chrome just in this kind of one spot, and I continue on at my point of it's just out of place, because you have chrome all around the outside of the badge. You have Denali chrome here. You have chrome here. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't work. And if there's a 2024 and a half, they should listen to me in this video and offer in the ability to option out Vader chrome, because I think I could attest to the fact that nobody likes it. All right. Now that I got that out of my system, let's look at what they did extremely well. Maybe we'll just chalk this up as they were so focused on the inside that they kind of didn't really rationalize appropriately for the outside. It's okay. There's potential. Trust the process. If you know me now, you know me well enough that it always ends up working out in the end. So the inside of the truck is honestly very nice in a lot of different ways. It was refreshed. So you still kind of get the same steering wheel, similar kind of dashboard that's just kind of tall and flat and kind of very right angled, if will, very formal, but you get a little bit of change of locations of buttons here where they kind of used to be like up over here. You still have a parking brake, not an emergency brake. You still have your heads up display stuff here. But all of this and this and this and the seats and that are different. And now your push to start button is right there. Buttons up here are the same, literally the exact same. Watch what happens. If you do the tilt, and you go to open the sunroof, it doesn't work. And I knew GM wouldn't fix that. It drives me nuts. So you have to tilt it back down, and then you have to slide it back. Like, guys, come on. This is low-hanging fruit opportunity of improvement here. Though there is this nice kind of suede Alcantara headliner. So that's kind of cool, I guess, bringing in the supercar theme into the pickup truck world, because they're basically priced at supercar levels. But you got the new inside. You've got this cool digital display that is customizable. So they brought back what they first introduced back in, I think it was 2015, and then they did away with it in 2020, and they went to like analog gauges. It kind of felt like a demotion, but then they brought this back. You have classic, progressive, digital, but they're all digital technically, and clean. So you have the ability to come in here and kind of change it. I'm going to stick to classic, and then what you can do furthermore is come back and you can change the left side, the right side, and the lower gauge. You can change your unit, speed warnings display, heads-up display, all that other good stuff there. So that's pretty nice. You have the ability to look at information, all this good stuff here. You get into your radio, your direction, and yeah, so that's nice. It is pretty small, but it's about the same size as the previous gen trucks. All the same buttons here, heated seat, or heated steering wheel, as I should say. And then you come over here. So they basically took the RAM screen, but turned it horizontally, and I actually favor that. I like the new Ford interiors too. I'm now not that big of a fan of the vertical screen on the Rams, although it is nice. It's just a little bit different. This one has effectively a home button, a power button, and a volume button that has,
it's all you'll ever need,
like a nice click dexterity to it. It's haptic. It gives good feedback. Down here, your engine start stop button is obscenely large. They just don't want you to miss it as you kind of come in here and smack your fingers down at it. All your climate control buttons for your driver and passenger side. You've got your air directions, your sync for your climate control, fan button here. Cooled and heated seat locations, cooled and heated seat locations there. The Apple CarPlay is very nice. You can actually make it full screen if you want. I think you can, I don't know, you can get rid of this thing. I wasn't messing with it too crazy, but you can make this full screen. You have the ability to have kind of like a multi-view here, and we're gonna test something when we're driving in a little bit. All the same buttons down here. Bigger storage compartment here, small. There's gonna be like change bin, chapstick bin, drink thing, which is actually very small. A cool improvement here is for those of you that have this capability, you can actually wirelessly charge your cell phone. Let's see if it works. Sweet. And it's nice because as you're driving, you can just sit and kind of tuck your phone away. Getting into the center console, not all that much has changed. They just kind of reworked it a little bit with your USB, USB-C all in place there. Of course, we have our 7-spline for the American Forces. Now let's talk about the leather, shall we? This is really, really nice stuff. It smells like a boot factory or a leather factory or, you know, a hat warehouse in here because this is truly genuine leather, which is quite nice. So the new car smell isn't the same permanence as you would expect. It smells like a boot factory in here, which is cool. To any of you that have a 2020 or have rode in a 2020 Plus, Silverado, or GMC, you might have noticed, or you might have remembered me complain about, these seats were very hard in those trucks. Now, my 2020 is not that case anymore because this Ace rode a lot in those seats and has broken them in unconditionally, but these ones are significantly more plush. Like significantly, it's completely different. You sit in them and they almost kind of remind you of like the new Ford seats versus like almost like a not that feeling. It's a lot nicer. You now also have this button right there on the side, and if you hit this button, you actually get massaging seats, and you can actually hear them if you're behind the seat as it's moving up and down, and if you have the cooled seats on, you can actually hear the fan blowers blowing in the back bolsters up through the front of the seat. Massaging seats, certainly very cool. I really didn't use them much in the other massaging seat enabled trucks, but I know a lot of other people do, and that's very cool. It's a nice feature, and I think it's long overdue. No panoramic sunroof, but I'm also not that upset about that because some of the older Illumiduties are running into really bad sealing and leaking issues. Plus, on super hot days, that thing stays indefinitely closed. All right, enough is enough. I need to shut my mouth. Let's go out for our first test drive. Oh, what I wanted to show you is, remember that Easter egg thing? I am so sorry, but I'm not gonna be able to tell you guys about that in this video. I'm gonna have to do it in the next upload because there's other Easter eggs that I found that might lead to the 3 things I hate most about this truck. I think that would be an appropriate video. And I think the things that I'm gonna talk about are extremely fair too. So it's not like I just arbitrarily came up with them. First drive in the 2024 Denali HD Ultimate. Oh, let's not rip the mirrors off. Now the OBZ is being worked on right in there, and I will have an update for you guys on that coming soon. Driving the 2024 Denali HD Ultimate behind the Vader Chrome. I'm happy about that because right here, it feels very proper. The inside is extremely nice. Now, feels familiar, obviously, but familiarity is a good thing. And I'm actually really excited that the chassis remains the same for some reasons that I'll get into here shortly. But the inside, guys, is a tremendous upgrade. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that this view is long overdue. They are about 4 years behind in redoing the interiors of their trucks, but it's okay. I'm happy that the time has finally come. I haven't had a chance too much to mess around with the infotainment system, and truthfully, you tend to figure out what's good and not good about these things over time. So I'm gonna give it some more time before I figure that out completely. But the buttons, the haptics, everything has like a very nice click to it. It kind of reminds me of my Audi R8 or all the Audi products. It's great. It has some great quality feels to it. I don't notice any bizarre miscellaneous rattlings on the inside, which is good. And I feel way better rolling around on a set of 24s than I do with those absolutely atrocious factory 20s that came on this thing. I also did notice that from a dig, the truck feels like it has a little bit of different tuning to it. I'm gonna open that up here, try and give us some more light on the situation. But I don't know. I haven't looked into any of that, so I'm not going to sit here and assume or misspeak or state facts that actually aren't. Because we all know our media does a way better job at that than I could ever do. Got ourselves a Denali brethren, and he's got a chrome grille. Oh my God, the Vader Chrome. The Vader Chrome, though. Darth Vader, the ultimate Denali. Would you imagine that we are greeted with a Yukon AT4 that shares Vader Chrome? But don't mistake that is an AT4 and this is a Denali, and you should know that. Don't judge a book by its cover, i.e. the front grille. I did notice that they actually changed the sound of the turn signal. It's softer, it's more gentle. I also noticed they changed the door chime. Also softer and more gentle. All right, quick pit stop at left lane. New Denali, old Denali, perfect Denali. Chrome, oh, it's so beautiful, it's so good. We gotta head inside. It's that time of the day, boys. 1:44, we are getting close to that peak window of exhaustion, but fortunately, I have a solution. I think we're gonna go Yuzu Mint today. Now that is the spark that I've been looking for. Cheers, boys. That is so good. It was actually right on this road, Manheim Pike, that I teased to you guys that I was over dealing with that tired 2 o'clock feeling. I happen to be actually right down there, and I was referring to that in its earliest of formulation years. Now, it wasn't quite a year ago, but we're coming up on that date. It was warm and it was last year. Now we are finally spark in hand and on Amazon. So if you guys want to order this, I'm gonna put the Amazon links down below. If it's sold out, I'm sorry, it will be restocking. Our first batch sold out in 24 hours. Cheers to that. Now, if you haven't seen, we have 4 flavors. Yuzu Mint, which is what I'm drinking right there. So refreshing. Yuzu is lemon, mint is straightforward. We got straw hibiscus, citrus peach, and blueberry grape, and they are all 4 and fantastic. Now through camera, it's probably very hard to hear this, but the turbo factory makes an interesting sound. Sean, I started the trimming process for you, man. I wanted to give you a template so that way you can follow it, just like, you know, expand upon it a little bit more. And it's perfect because I said this bumper's not metal the whole way out. Dude, we got some plastic here, bro.
It's like they wanted you to run wide wheels. Just trim the plastic.
They literally prepared it for the enthusiasts, so much so that they're like, buy this super expensive truck and then deal with the added expense of dealing with the Vader Chrome. This is where I'm gonna end this video indefinitely. We are down here at Peach Bottom. The truck, I don't think it even crossed 70 miles. I told them that I'm really not happy with the GM engineers on this one, man. Like, the design guys, like, they were blindfolded and they were like tasked with a change that just backfired on them tremendously, but luckily I have a him. And it's all gonna work out extremely well. You're gonna need those.
Yes, we will. Thank you.
I almost drove off with them. I don't think I've ever actually done that, but I've gotten very close.
I'm sure.
Have I?
Probably.